Now call the meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and the Pledge of Allegiance. O Lord, we thank you for the many blessings you had given our country. Today in our prayers, let us remember Pennsylvania State Police Trooper Jacques Rougeau, Jr., who died in the line of duty, and pray for the speedy and full recovery of Lieutenant James Wagner, who was seriously wounded. We thank them for their service and commitment to our communities and our Commonwealth. Let us offer our condolences and prayers to their families and many friends. Give them strength during these difficult times. We humbly ask that you protect our law enforcement officers from harm. Keep them safe when responding to the calls for help. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. The first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held June 15th, 2023, noting a change to agenda item number 23-285, Area Agency on Aging Letter of Agreement through Passstone Program. The term should be July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
Motion approved, change.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, are there any guests concerning county business at this time? Hearing none, move on. With us today, we have Mr. Strubinger from the Jim Thorpe Borough Council President. Mr. Strubinger?
Thank you, Chairman Notstein.
Yeah, would that be
Yes,
great? Yeah.
sure. Is the green light on? The mic?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good
morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Notstein, Arner, and Lukasevich. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your invitation this morning, inviting the Borough of Jim Thorpe to come in and address the Board of Commissioners. It's something that we haven't done before, and I believe that was an idea that was came from the board, and I think it's a nice idea. So again, thank you for inviting us in this morning. With me today, we have one of our council members who I'd like to introduce, and we have Joanne Klitsch, one of our longtime council members, here with me this morning. Joanne serves as the chair of our police committee, and she was also a longtime chair of our sewer and sanitation committee, which she has since been a member of the police committee, but now is the chair of the police committee. I see that you have a full agenda this morning, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. Our borough manager, Maureen Sterner, was off today, so she is not able to be here. So I will proceed. The Borough of Jim Thorpe has a general operating fund budget of $3.8 million. So we're a small municipality. We have to be very fiscally responsible with our funding, which I believe our council, our administrative team, the mayor, police department have been very efficient and effective in doing so over the years. Our total borough operating and capital budgets, which includes our water, our sanitation, and our wastewater facilities, is a little over $13 million. The borough has been fortunate to receive a number of millions of dollars of grant funding in the past year or so, and I'll connect in with some of those grant funds that we were thankfully able to secure. Just some general municipal highlights. We did have a borough feasibility study completed for our facilities. We had some issues that were lacking in space and some improvements needed to some of our buildings, which has been in need for some time. And the council took it upon themselves to tackle some of these projects. And as always, as the commissioners know, there's a cost to that, which, you know, isn't always well received. But as a borough council, we have the obligation to make sure our facilities are up to date and safe for the employees that work for the borough. So to that, we are planning a renovation to Memorial Hall. This is something that had been talked about in the past, but we're back to doing that now. The borough has a large facility known as Memorial Hall that has been extremely underutilized in recent times. So the building is a great asset to the borough. It's the only real meeting space, community space for the borough. So we are going to be rehabilitating the building, which is in much need. Structurally, the building's fine. Needs some doors, windows, HVAC upgrades. What we're going to be doing with this project, we're going to be bringing our administrative offices from the current building into the upper floor of the hall, taking up about a third of that space. The remaining space on the upper level will remain as a hall, about a 300-seat, 250 to 300-seat hall that we hope to refocus that on community use, veterans events, the scouts that have been so good to the borough, some of those type of uses that have sort of fallen away from the focus of Memorial Hall, which was for community use. When it was being run as a rental facility, the residents really weren't getting use of the building. Other people from the area were when they were having their events there, and that was fine. It worked well for its time, but we were trying to return the focus of the building to the community. So the upper level will be the administrative offices will be there. We'll have the community space for our meetings as well. We'll continue to have there, and that way we'll have our administrative offices in the same facility. We won't have to leave the building. We'll sort of be all under one roof. Our police will be relocated in the bottom level of the hall, taking up about half of that space. And there will be an open space that will be to be determined for the future. We're not sure what that space is going to look like at this time. Part of that feasibility study did look at our current offices, and that feasibility study came back pretty clearly that we have no room in the current building, and there were some safety issues that were pointed out as well with that study. So the borough has moved forward with these projects. We are part of this, and a lot of this all sort of ties in, the current public service garage that is located in the grounds in the footprint of Memorial Park. That facility will be moved out of the park grounds and over to a new building on West Broadway on borough-owned land across from our water treatment plant. So that's all tying in with this project. We had some PA system much needed PA upgrades in the hall, and that was from some COVID funding that provided that. That was just recently installed. It's a big space, so sometimes we have, unlike this smaller space, we have some issues with the sound system, so we just made some upgrades there. Also, through some of the COVID funding, we are going to be securing some laptops for council, and hopefully that's going to be in the next month or so that's going to be taking place. So I'll talk a little bit more about some of these projects in a little bit. Some highlights for our police department. Police department, can't say enough about the work that they have done. The mayor, police chief Schatz, Sergeant Bokiko, Detective Marzin, and the officers. It's just been a real pleasure to support them in what they're doing. We have a very fine police department who, like all law enforcement, have a very challenging job on a day in and day out basis. So as a council member, we're very happy to support them in any way that we can. Traffic light upgrades for visually impaired is something that's in the works right now. That was part of a Pocono Mountain Visitors Community Impact Grant that we received those funds. Traffic light upgrades as well for pedestrian crossing through PennDOT. There will be training to certify the chief and officers in use of that upgrade. Another good initiative that was started by our police chief was and I believe some of the commissioners are involved in the events meeting that's held on a monthly basis that we have found has been very helpful in organizing all of the activity that goes on in the borough. And as well as the department has hired an additional police officer just recently, so we were very happy to have an additional officer brought on board. That brings our total force to 8 officers. That's including the chief, the sergeant, and the detective, as well as a secretary meter attendant. I would also like to thank the Civil Service Commission that we have that took the officers through the process, the hiring process for us. We have a very good Civil Service Commission led by Judge Lewis and former officers Chip Burnett and Joe Lawrence, retired police officer. So we're very fortunate to have them serving on our Civil Service Commission. Public service, we have 4 road paving projects scheduled for a total of a little over $156,000. That's always a challenge. We're trying to get the roads back in shape, so we're sort of moving toward that. We know there's other issues out there, and we're working on them. High Street Wall, another ongoing cost to the borough. Phase 2 repair in the amount of $750,000. So the High Street Wall is a very ominous item for the borough. I know we've had discussions in the past when I asked our solicitor, do we own those walls over there? Well, he said we've been maintaining them, so I guess we do. But those walls are a wonder how they were built, but I guess the maintenance of them at the time they were built, I guess they didn't, that's going to be somebody else's problem to do that. So that continues to be a big item for the borough to try to keep up with that, because we know it's a monumental infrastructure there, and it's holding up some of our utilities on High Street, not to mention the road. So it's something that obviously we can't ignore. Cherry Avenue water main and lateral service replacement in the amount of $131,000. That was provided through CDBG funding. Our current chair of the water department, Mr. Miller, is looking at replacing the remaining old lines in the borough. And I believe he got some cost estimates together, and it's going to be in the $8 million range to finalize the replacement of all the older lines in the borough. So he's doing a great job helping us through that, taking us through that. I don't know how long that's going to be, but the fact that he identified what needs to be done has been very helpful. Water plant equipment upgrades. We have had several recent upgrades to the water system. Sewer spot line repairs to 6 roads, the amount of a little over $44,000. Sewer plant equipment upgrades as well. And about 7 or 8 years ago, I think, when we did the upgrade to the water or the sanitary sewer plant, that was in the $10 million upgrade. So that was done in the last 7 to 8 years. A very nice upgrade to the sewer plant. So we were very happy to accomplish that. I believe the last substantial upgrade was done in the 60s. So it was much needed. So we were happy to undertake and tackle that task. One of our sewer employees has recently achieved operator status. So we are very happy about that. That continues to be a challenge. for our water and our sewer plants to have licensed employees. It's a very big liability, and finding people willing to do that is not an easy task, but we would like to have our system, our water and sewer system, remain owned by the municipality if we can continue to find licensed operators. So that's something that's a priority for the borough. Because we have some recent retirees, and we have some retirees coming up, longtime employees that have licenses, and it's a struggle to find people that can fill those roles. So that's a big obligation that we're undertaking, and we've been successful. We have one of our new employees, and that's why we mentioned that they have achieved their operator status. Firefighting highlights. Much awaited, like many things that were put off with the pandemic. This was another item. The new pumper tanker, we're expecting delivery this week. It may have been delivered, I'm not sure, but we're expecting delivery on a new pumper tanker. And a new rescue pumper is estimated to be delivered at the end of the month. So they're things that prior to the pandemic, we should have been in receipt of this apparatus a bit ago, but like everything else, the world came to a stoppage. Getting back to some of the projects in Memorial Park grounds, we have recreation projects. We had Intech Engineering did a great job, and they completed a master site plan for Memorial Park. There was a lot of community input and involvement in that. We had a community steering committee that guided this process. So we have a design for, again, another project that has been talked about and that the council is undertaking to get Memorial Park upgraded. It's been some time, and again, it's the only community park we have. So we're getting through a master site plan, which put us into some ability to get some grant funding, which we've been successful at doing that as well. So we are doing it in phases. Phase 1 and 2 are currently in design stage. Construction estimated for phase 1 and 2 will begin in September. We had 4 grants obtained for those projects. Again, we've been very fortunate to receive some grant funding that otherwise these projects would not happen. Phase 3 grant application for the Memorial Park reconfiguration upgrades is in progress. And just to get back to briefly on the projects for the building, for Memorial Hall upgrades and the public service building, those projects pre-pandemic for both of those public service and Memorial Park upgrade, Memorial Hall upgrades were in the $4 million neighborhood for both of them, a new building for public service and rehabilitation Memorial Hall. Post-pandemic, those projects now ballooned to $9 million. So you could see once we got out of the pandemic, those projects were stalled. And sadly, we were all very disappointed when we saw the cost, how it inflated in a very serious way, that we thought the projects wouldn't happen. But we were fortunate enough to receive some federal government appropriations grants through Congressman Musser's office. The borough received a $2.5 million appropriation grant, and through Senator Casey's office, a $1.5 million appropriation grant. That is now basically, that $4 million is taking up the COVID inflation, sadly. But at least now we get the projects back on board, and those projects are set to be bid out very shortly. So we're hoping we're going to be breaking ground on one or both of these projects by the end of the year. So we're very happy that we're finally being able to get off the ground with these projects. Twining Park, another borough park that's underutilized on the east side. We had some 15 new tree plantings through the Pennsylvania Tree Vitalized Bare Roots program. So we had some 15 trees planted there. So we're hoping for Twining Park that we can get some more usage out of that park. Kemmer Park, which is not a borough park, although the borough does have an agreement with the Kemmer Association. There's various upgrades going on. Picnic tables were purchased through COVID CDBG funds, as well as some benches that are on order. Asa Packer Mansion, engineering evaluation and repair recommendations completed. The major item there is the roof. That has been experiencing some issues in recent times, so the roof replacement is being targeted with some of the grant funding that we received for that. I believe we received a $300,000 grant for the roof. Well, it was for repairs, but we're targeting, of course, the roof. There's some other issues that we need to address as well. Like I said, there were 2 grants received, one in the amount of $300,000, I think the other one was about $150,000. There's some drainage work being completed that was funded through the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau Community Impact Grant. There's going to be some carpeting runners replaced, and again, that was being provided through grant funding through that same Community Impact Grant through the PMVB. So the mansion, certainly a huge asset to the borough, the county, the state, the nation, really. Of course, a project, a building of that magnitude is something that you really need to keep on top of, and we're trying to do so. It's a big responsibility. Environmental and land use projects. Our zoning ordinance is in the midst of a overhaul, and as well as our subdivision and land develop ordinance. We had 2 grant funding sources to assist with that, and this was a joint project with the Summit Hill Borough. The zoning ordinance draft updated document is in final review, and then we'll come to council. The subdivision and land development ordinance, first draft, is close to completion. A review is anticipated after completion of the zoning ordinance final draft. Blight, another big topic in the county. Blight work, grant work is in progress. Some projects within the borough. We had a multi-municipal project with the Lehighton and Palmerton boroughs. I believe their part of the grant has been completed. The borough of Jim Thorpe has an outstanding project to be determined with the remaining grant funds. Multi-municipal blight committee has been formed. The borough of Jim Thorpe was the hosting municipality. We're currently working with Senator Argel to host a blight and land bank workshop at Memorial Hall in the fall. A couple more things and I'll be concluding. On-lot sewage system maintenance program ordinance has just been recently adopted at our June meeting. We also have a well ordinance regulation under investigation for possible ordinance adoption. We have the Silk Mill Stream Restoration Project. This was the old borough reservoirs that used to supply water to the residents that are no longer utilized on the east side of town. They have become in disrepair over the years. The Department of Environmental Protection Dams Inspections Department has made note of many different issues with some of the reservoirs, and the borough at some point had to make a decision on what we want to do with them. And the Wildlands Conservancy Group had come into the borough and was addressing the borough on some other items, and we got into some discussion on the dams, and we entered into a cooperative agreement with the Conservancy to secure some grant funding for the borough to remove the dams, to remove the former reservoirs that have fallen into disrepair. So we either the choice was to remove them or to rehabilitate them. And to rehabilitate them, there really wasn't a use for them. They became a liability to the borough, so we were going ahead, and it's going to be a little shy of $1 million project. The Conservancy will get the grant funding to complete the project on behalf of the borough, so it was a really great opportunity for the borough to partner with them to have this done. that this cost did not fall on the taxpayer residents of the borough. So we're really happy that we were able to team up with them to do this project. We had, the borough received some grant funding for this already. We received a grant from the Department of Environmental Protection, and I believe it was last year, a little foggy on the time with the pandemic, sort of makes you a little hazy on the time, but I believe that was last year, and I think it was the biggest grant in northeastern Pennsylvania that was awarded by DEP. And it was near $300,000 toward this, I think it's roughly $800,000 project. And we also received some grant funds from the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources as well. We have a committee that's steering this project with some community members as well as council members. The restoration is in pre-planning. Some survey work is being done, some testing work is being done, and the design is in progress. I'm not sure when it will be breaking ground, but hopefully this year at some point in time. So with that, I will conclude our State of the Municipality this morning, and again, I thank the commissioners for inviting us in, and as you can see, the borough has a lot of good things happening, and we're happy to communicate that with the Board of Commissioners this morning, and look forward to working with you in any way possible going forward.
One question. What's our status on the sidewalk and, maybe it's a sore
Yeah,
subject. I
no.
know we had applied for grants, we didn't get the grant on the changing of the straight-in parking and parallel parking, instead repair sidewalks. Any update or where we're at, still applying for grants, I think?
That, I'm sorry, I don't know, Chairman.
Okay.
That would be something I would have to get back to you on. If our borough manager was here, she'd be able to update you on that, but I'm not quite sure of that. I'm sorry.
And,
Apologize for that.
well, this is another subject, and I said I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm gonna. And I think the borough has been very generous with the food banks. And I deal with all the food banks throughout the county, and these were very gracious on letting them be there. So I don't know if there's any extra space or if there's anything in town, you can gladly contact me if what you're gonna do with the food bank in there, because it moved over there, and like I said, you just didn't have to let them be there, and it was one thing that, that was their concern when I'd meet with them. They wanted to know what's happening in the future, what that is. So I think I heard something, there might be a little space downstairs, so try to keep them in consideration, or another place within the borough. Because they serve, I think, well, sometimes they're doing it twice a month, I think, but they serve Jim Thorpe very well on getting food out to people. So it's just a request that you keep them in consideration for, something that we could keep it here in town. Because like up on the top here, there was a traffic issue up there, and it was like not good, so.
And I thank you, Commissioner Arner, for bringing that up this morning.
yeah.
Yeah, that is something through the pandemic, through bad things, sometimes good things come out of it. And that was one good thing that, brought the borough together with this group and, stepping up and being able to help the community. And it really helped, the borough too, because we have this underutilized hall space. We have these walk-in coolers and freezers that aren't used, and as we know, equipment needs to be used for it to be running efficiently. And so that gave us the opportunity to have them utilize that, and they've helped the borough in repairing some of that equipment when it needed some maintenance.
And I think without the borough letting them be in there, that program wouldn't have operated for 2 years.
Yes,
So
and again,
I think
a
thank you
testament
to the borough for
Yeah.
letting them do
Yeah, and a
that.
testament to our police department. They stepped
yeah.
up, and when they were
Yeah.
having the issue
Yeah.
on Center Avenue with
Yeah.
all the need for the food pantry over there at the church,
Yeah.
we knew we needed to find a resolution to that issue, because we knew this was gonna be a fairly long-term process where, the increased food distribution was gonna be happening through the pandemic, so we were able to find a great resolution to that. And I think, there's nothing that's off the table as far as them continuing to use the hall space in some manner. It's a little undecided. The whole hall is not being renovated, it's only certain portions of it. The kitchen, the commercial kitchen area will remain intact, so I believe there will be a way to do it, if all parties are still willing to have that be
Yeah,
a
they
goal.
don't have to have a food distribution the day a wedding is scheduled.
Right,
How's
well,
that? That would be my
yeah,
suggestion.
again,
And if the park isn't being used, we have some utilities over
Yeah.
there. Plus that big walk-in cooler that's
Yeah.
in the beer garden, that's a big one.
yes, there is
Almost
another,
25 kegs of beer.
Oh, my God.
yeah, that's, yeah, I forgot about that, that's
Oh,
another,
Yeah.
refrigeration unit that we have that's in the park grounds in one of the pavilions.
Okay, well, thank you.
So, sure,
Well, Greg, I gotta say, you just set the standard, the high bar for other municipalities that may follow you. Cause I'm gonna tell you, in your 20 minutes, you gave me more insight into the borough, where they stand, where they're going, than I've been able to accumulate over 3.5 years of Times News, Blue Ridge Cable, some personal attendance and interaction with council members. So thank you for setting the bar so high, and I hope other municipalities will kind of take this as the standard to build upon. I want to thank both you guys, and obviously council and the staff over there, for being a really good host for the county seat and county government. I truly believe that we're blessed and fortunate to have the collaboration that we have. And I talked about collaboration, the events meeting you spoke about. Working with our parking staff during those events has been extremely beneficial to all of us. True intergovernment cooperation. I see the assistance that you all provided during COVID when we were seeking a location to potentially host the courts there. That was another demonstration of that. So overall, just great support from the borough of Jim Thorpe. I'm very optimistic that we're gonna find a road ahead to collaborate on some blight issues that concern the borough, and I think I'm optimistic you're gonna see at least a draft pilot project proposal coming forth before your July 13 meeting, if I can push it through the process that planning and development has been working on. It's a subset of the home hold repair program grant that we get, so really hopeful that we can help out there. One question and a statement. Understanding the upgrades of the sewage treatment plant, how is that kind of now postured to support additional growth of residential or commercial in Jim Thorpe?
I think that was one of the reasons behind it, because
Yeah.
at one point in time, there was a moratorium on EDUs for any type
Yeah.
of new construction. So that became a big issue, and that was part of the reason for the upgrade to the plant,
Yeah.
was to be able to accommodate additional EDUs. And I'm not sure what's available. I'd have to get back to you on as far as
Yeah.
what the engineers believe is available for the capacity that we currently have, but I think we're poised pretty well for the future needs.
Yeah, because we keep hearing about potential additional, or let's say, potential development up on Flagstaff feeding into the Jim Thorpe
Right,
system.
yeah, that's a big
That
piece of the
affects the-
puzzle, yeah.
Right, yeah. Again, got to thank you also for the live streaming, the continued participation in the Council of Governments. You know, Jay tends to come in now as he's been working that, and Jay, of course, has also been working the blight with us. The one thing I would ask, as the three commissioners who sign letters of support for the borough potential grants or projects, I believe it is inappropriate that a commissioner would have to do a right to know to request information on a project that we advocated and supported to. So I just ask in the future going forward, when there's that intergovernment communication or request, that is honored, given the role that we play in helping the borough, obtain those grants. But other than that, great collaboration, and I appreciate the relationship and the fact that you and Joanne take a half hour here or so out of your day to kind of give us the state of the borough. It's great.
Thank you, Commissioner Savage.
I do want to thank you for the cooperation and participation, and Jay and the COG, et cetera. I wish more municipalities would, look into that opportunity and take better advantage, because the more people we get involved, the better we can work together and coordinate, various projects. Chief Schatz and Mayor Franco have been good to work with, and I must say that a municipality like Jim Thorpe, Lehighton, and others that have a borough manager, it makes a difference that we have somebody to go to, and it's not easy for a small borough or township to get a hold of people with the right answers all the time, and I really believe it's well worth having a full-time person there to oversee a lot of these projects and work with the grants and everything else, because in smaller municipalities, it's extremely difficult to have the staff and to be able to do a lot of these projects. But I too wanna thank you for the cooperation and everything with, even with the fire company, and when we were putting in our Knox boxes and everything else, and responding to incidents here in the county, in the borough and in the county buildings in particular. So I thank you for that. So look forward to completing our other projects eventually, and we feel your pain as far as the costs, how they have shot up, and not shot up, Rocky. But they have, how they skyrocketed over the years, and the cost of doing everything anymore is just mind-boggling. It
Sad.
jumps so fast, so.
Yep.
But
But
thank
we're fortunate to be able to get these things back on track, and we have a lot of things happening, and we have, you know, the right people in place to do so. So we're happy about that.
Joy, did you have any comments?
Well, I was just gonna make the comment on, he was just saying, it was very frustrating for us when COVID did hit, because we had all the plans ready to go with Memorial Hall, we really did. And that was really painful for someone like myself who's been involved for so long with that, to watch it sit there and do nothing. So we just can't wait to get this moving forward, especially while we're still there, you know, so we can see it go forward. So, and thank you for everything that you have cooperated with us. I mean, it's been a pleasure working with you gentlemen, it really has been. So I just wanna thank you for that.
Okay, ready to move on?
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Your
Have a
3
good day.
minutes is up.
Sorry.
We shouldn't be here too much longer than that. Okay.
Okay, our next item is the report of executive sessions held.
There were none.
Department reports, the budget transfers.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
There were no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 75091 through 75127, and direct deposit check numbers 6054215 through 6054663 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $683,047.04. This is the payroll dated June 16th, 2023.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 237005 through 237118 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $1,054,415.24.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The treasurer's report?
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The personnel report for county departments?
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices?
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. CDBG bid award for approval. Request was received from the planning director requesting an extension to award or reject the bids for the Lansford Borough street improvements, Brimdell Wall replacement fiscal year 2019-2020 until July 6, 2023, pending further review by the Lansford Borough engineer.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Children and Youth for approval and execution, the fiscal year 2023-2024, purchase of service agreements submitted for the providers as listed and as per the attached rates.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Farmland Preservation, survey for Ralph Clay for approval and execution, a revised proposal from Ralph Clay, Professional Land Surveyors of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, for survey services at the Kenneth R. Bond Farm of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Total estimate not to exceed $12,475. The previous agenda item, number 23-232, that represents an increase of $2,500 due to additional field work.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Human Services for approval. Shepherd House Incorporated State Plan of the State Food Purchase Program for the period of July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2024. The revenue allocation has yet to be finalized.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Solicitors report?
Thank you. First item, for Josiah White Park, seeking a motion for ratification of a request to use the park by Lehigh Cole Navigation for a resident event that took place June 21st, 2023.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For the Pocono County's workforce innovation area, for approval and execution of program year 2023 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act financial agreement commencing July 1, 2023 and terminating June 30th, 2024 for employment training and related administrative services between Carbon County as the administrative entity and Monroe County. The maximum payment shall not exceed $2,387,025, and the county is exercising its second one-year renewal option.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Likewise, for approval and execution of program year 2023 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act financial agreement commencing July 1, 2023, terminating June 30th, 2024 for employment and training and related administrative services between Carbon County and Pike County. The maximum payment shall not exceed $883,718, and this also is a second one-year renewal option.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And for approval and execution of program year 2023 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act financial agreement commencing July 1, 2023, terminating June 30th, 2024 for employment and training and related administrative services between Carbon County and Workforce Wayne Incorporated. The maximum payment shall not exceed $626,440, and again, this is the second one-year renewal option.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And seeking a motion to adopt Proclamation 6 of 2023, recognizing the month of July as Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over Month.
Move to
Oh,
approve.
second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And may I read the proclamation into the record?
You please.
Okay. Whereas motor vehicle crashes involving driver impairment killed 452 people in Pennsylvania in 2022, and whereas of those killed by an impaired driver in Pennsylvania, 55 lives were lost in the PennDOT District 5-0 counties of Berks, Carbon, Lehigh, Monroe, and Schuylkill in 2022. And whereas the July 4th holiday season is traditionally one of the deadliest times of the year for impaired driving. And whereas for thousands of families across the county, state, and nation, holidays are a time to remember loved ones lost. And whereas organizations across the county, state, and nation are joined with the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign that fosters public awareness of the dangers of impaired driving and anti-impaired driving law enforcement efforts. And whereas the Carbon County Board of Commissioners is proud to partner with the Highway Safety Network, Pennsylvania DUI Association, law enforcement, first responders, and other traffic safety organizations in that effort to make our roads and streets safer. Now, therefore, the Carbon County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim July 2023 as Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over Month, and hereby calls upon citizens, government agencies, business leaders, hospitals and healthcare providers, schools, and public and private institutions to promote awareness of the impaired driving problem, to support programs and policies to reduce and eliminate incidents of impaired driving, and to promote safer and healthier behaviors regarding the use of alcohol and drugs this July 4th holiday season and throughout the year. Signed this 22nd day of June 2023, the Carbon County Board of Commissioners.
Any further business? And then commissioners' reports, Mr. Honor.
The only thing I have, I don't, thank you for the borough coming here, I think we got a lot of information. And I just wanna focus a little bit on this drive sober thing. My son was in a serious accident a couple years ago and he's lucky to be alive. And I cannot stress this enough, that don't let anybody drive drunk. Please don't do it. Cause I said, he was about that far away. And it's not a fun thing to go through. And there's a lot of people that I know that died in accidents and stuff, and it affects the entire family, not just the parents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, the whole. So I think we have to stress that very highly. Do not let anybody drink and drive. So thank you.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, a couple items. First and foremost, in regards to Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over Month, I think important for our under 21 or newer drivers to recognize that driving impaired actually begins with your first drink. A simple 0.02 blood alcohol content can get you 12 to 18 months suspension, 6 to 48 months in jail, and a $500 to a $5,000 fine. Again, be conscientious when you're going out with your friends. Have a designated driver. The fact that Jim Thorpe is here is probably fitting because I have a couple comments about Mock Chunk Lake Park, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention and thank Jim Thorpe for reinforcing the actions that the Board of Commissioners took to protect Mock Chunk Lake Park, mostly as we're getting ready here the weekend after next to roll into 4th of July weekend, one of the most highly utilized weekends for Mock Chunk Lake Park. I'm ecstatic to say that as of today's personnel report, we have a full complement of lifeguards. I don't know if even Wayne has ever seen that before, probably going back to time, where we have 1 supervisor lifeguard plus 10 supervisors. And let's hope we can retain that throughout the majority of the season. This past last week, met with the director of the park, Dave, and the lifeguard supervisor to start looking at finalizing a training plan for the lifeguards, something we haven't done in the past. So ensuring that their skills stay honed throughout the entire season and they're not able to apathy, throughout the season. And as part of that, we subsequently met with our EMA director, and Mark Nalesnik is going to develop a tabletop exercise that we can run internal to the Parks Department to, again, test the response to a water rescue and recovery situation, with the aspiration to be, after we run the tabletop exercise in July, to look at the feasibility of an FTX, so go from a TTX to an FTX, a full training exercise in August, where we can bring in first responders, other entities and organizations who might have to respond to either a rescue or recovery. So good things moving forward in regards to fully maximizing the value of the lifeguard supervisor. We're also looking at the potential of procuring some valuable lifeguard training equipment, and that's being assessed right now. But the Parks is moving forward with some communications gear to facilitate communications between the lifeguards as they're actually out there in their chairs and able to communicate back to the lifeguard station. As I mentioned, 4th of July, what a great month for county residents and others to connect or reconnect with Mock Chunk Lake Park. And I emphasize that reconnect or connect opportunity for two reasons. First and foremost,
1 through 4 July, which we're considering the 4th of July weekend, actually goes to Saturday through a Tuesday, right? Mock Chunk Lake Park has a modified admission policy that gives Carbon County residents, pavilion renters, campers, residents of Coaldale who have students in Panther Valley High School, and membership holders kind of priority access to Mock Chunk Lake Park. And look at, for those individuals, county residents, $2 for children, free for children under 3, and it's simply $3 for adult for a full day of outdoor opportunity recreational experience. I must mention also, disabled individuals and senior citizens are also free at Mock Chunk Lake Park all days that the beach is open. Overlapping on top of this specific weekend is the inaugural run of Carbon Transit's Route 741, Mock Chunk Lake. So the communities of Nesquehoning, Lansford, Summit Hill, and Jim Thorpe, those residents are going to have low-cost transportation, $2 each way to Mock Chunk Lake Park. And it's going to be basically running from 10 till just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, starting with 4th of July weekend, 1 July. So I want to thank Carbon Transit for working that initiative. The routes are already published on the county website, our social media page, Carbon Transit. Those routes will be in Google Maps Transit by the end of next week also. And again, $2 to get to Mock Chunk Lake Park from those 4 communities. I hope the residents of those communities will take advantage of it. The buzz has been really strong so far on social media. And we are, assuaging some of the concerns in regards to increased safety. There are additional steps being taken and being considered to ensure those individuals arriving at the park by any means of transportation have a safe and enjoyable opportunity out there at Mock Chunk Lake Park. That's all I have.
Okay, just real quick touch on the proclamation as well for the pullover month, being a first responder. I know what it's like to be out there on the highway, especially when we used to run the turnpike with the people zipping by your butts. I mean, it was bad. You had to really watch yourself. Even in today's on the side roads, people don't care. They don't slow down. The scene of one accident I was at, a woman stopped and asked us to move a fire truck out of her way so she could get through while we're extricating a woman from a car. And this is just, I don't know what people are thinking anymore. They just don't care. They just keep zipping along. You'll see it at accidents on if you get out in the interstates and that and everything, but it's extremely hazard to the police officers, the fire police, the EMS and fire as well. So yeah, please do slow down, just as I mentioned about the state police officer who lost his life this past week and the other officer that was injured. I would pray for those families, and he did mention their police departments. People don't realize the situations that our officers get into. Domestics are the most dangerous situations our officers get into. But, please keep them in mind, and I wish we had, certainly have a lack of respect for our officers that are out there. Like you mentioned, they do a good job, they do the best they can, and are falsely accused a lot of times of abuse, etc. So, as Chris had mentioned, 5 lifeguards today. I don't know if that's a record all at one time. It's usually resignations, but and it's good to see that in the time. And I concur with the ability of these lifeguards and the people at the park have to be highly trained. And I think the other issue we have to push is the boating safety and the use of the boat we have now, and make sure our personnel at the park are trained and that boat is ready to go at a moment's notice. Because when you have a potential drowning, we don't have time to waste. We gotta get them in the water and get out there as soon as possible. We are doing a lot of training, and just a quick update, I counted this morning, at least 145 people have participated in training sessions at the training center between the first class of about 15 people last year and this year. There's several that have in progress, and we don't have numbers yet. Some did not submit their the tally of how many people are attending the courses in that yet. Like, we got a 40-hour class now, an interior firefighting class going on, so those hours or people aren't counted until those classes are complete. Jim Thorpe, one of the companies here, participated in interdepartmental drills with other departments, and I know the other company in town has had some discussion with Mike Gaystead and working together with other departments. Because a lot of small departments, it's hard to train people when you only have a few members there, so it's a lot easier especially for the small departments. So it is being utilized. The police are utilizing the train-the-trainer courses for active shooters. Serious issue we have to take now. And you just don't know where it's gonna happen anymore. It's happened locally, it happens across the country. So we are doing that. They had a training session the following week for police officers in the county on dealing with active shooters. We have an active shooter incident in a major building, whether it be an office building, a school in particular. All the police officers in this county, between the local and state, and that are not big enough for a rapid response to an incident of that sort in a short period of time. Yeah, help can come, but it's pretty far away, and they need to get in there and do their job ASAP. So, a lot of things going on training-wise all over the county. I'm one that really believes in having properly trained employees and public safety personnel. So, that's all I have today. Meeting adjourned. Okay. Kelly, nice seeing you again.
Good to see you. The only thing I would ask is for a copy of the proclamation, if you could. That's all. Thank you.
That's it? Nothing today. Okay. Thank you, Jerry.
Gary, you did a good job. No questions.